I know, chasing that dough, hitting that road, getting that money, man. All I know, loading that foe, kicking down doors, getting that money, man. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it Grizzly. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it Grizzly.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is our predictions for the Canelo Alvarez versus Sweet Hand Caleb Plant fight. I'm going to turn it over to our lead predictor who is going to give us his prediction for the bout. It's none other than Ned, the TBE.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Caden, for that. You know, the build up to this fight, it was intense. It was entertaining. It surprised us. You know, there was some fist thrown during the press conference, and Caleb seems very determined. You know, and Canelo, he's a elite fighter. He's the face of boxing. I like to say that all the time. Canelo is the face of boxing, and for this matchup next Saturday, I gotta go with Caleb by getting defeated. Caleb getting defeated round 7.
Go with Caleb by getting defeated. That's the most interesting way I've ever heard a fight predicted in my life.
I was real confused there for a second.
So salute to you, TVE, cuz.
You know, I'm going. You know, Canelo like to get him out in the 7. I think Canelo's gonna make it an early night. Caleb's not gonna know where to hit him. So yeah,
I am going with Caleb by getting defeated. Yo, Nate, you a real one, bro. All right, Complex, who you got?
Oh man, yeah. I like Caleb a lot, and you know, I think back to Canelo's one and only official loss. I know a lot of people like to talk about Triple G fights, but let's talk about his official loss to none other than Floyd Mayweather Jr., right? And let's look at that loss and what qualities Floyd had that led him to victory and that Caleb might have. So Floyd was very slick boxer, right? Very smart boxer. And Caleb, you can say, is very slick and smart. Very fast boxer, Floyd was. And, you know, Caleb's pretty fast hands too. But one thing I think he's lacking, which is funny because he's bigger, but I think Floyd had a little bit more power. And I'd say for this reason, Floyd was sneaky. People, especially in his later fights, didn't think Floyd had power. He did, because he would keep guys honest. The reason why guys couldn't just walk him down is because when they were coming in and getting countered, they realized like, yo, okay, I can't just walk in or else this guy's going to knock me out. So that's why it looked like it was very tentative. And Floyd wasn't necessarily knocking guys out like that, but he was keeping them honest. The trouble is, Canelo fought that fight years ago when he was younger, and I think that fight was at 152 pounds even. Canelo is at 168 pounds, fully grown into himself, fully gonna weigh in fully. And what's more is that he's grown into his own skills. He's become a way better fighter since that time. And I don't think Caleb has the capabilities to overcome that, essentially. You know, we saw during the press conference that little scuffle, you know, and Caleb swears up and down that he connected on that first hit. I'll give you that. Fine, you connected. But the counter that you got hit with was terrible, bro. Like, and if that was anything that's gonna like happen in the real fight, then I don't know what to tell you, dog. Like, you can't just like graze him and then you get counter like that and you want to say, oh, the cut is from your glasses. I don't know, bro. That looked pretty bad to me. You know what I'm saying? So if that's what's happening while you guys are in street clothes and you kind of, it wasn't, I mean, you could say it's a sucker punch, but like Canelo's lean back and counter was so clean, dog. It was like, bro. So, you know, Canelo's on another level. And I just say, you know, we got to appreciate the greatness as we're watching it. You know, this super middleweight, he's going to become undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. And I think that's the first one in history, which is pretty cool. Even Andre Ward didn't do that technically, even though he was the best. You know, I just think that it's incredible. These guys are good super middleweights. Canelo's making them look easy, but like the great Roy Jones Jr. said, it's not that they didn't fight nobody, it's to make them look like nobody. Canelo's making these guys look like nobodies. These are all world champions that he's sunning in there. And I think this weekend we're going to see Canelo have another masterful performance. I think it does end in stoppage. I think Caleb Plant is going to put up a good fight. I think he's going to try really hard, and I like Caleb a lot. I've been to one of his fights. Great fighter. He's entertaining, but this ain't it. And I think Canelo's going to win by knockout.
G-Son. Salute to G-Son. Ned the TBE. Now, no. Speaking of Complex going to the fights, there is a fight taking place on November 27th at Madison Square Garden, featuring Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos. And we, the Boxing Bros, we're the next state over. And we're thinking maybe we should go to that fight. But we think we should get media passes to that fight. We think the Zone and Matchroom Boxing should give us media passes. So we would like to know in the comment section what you think. Do you think the Boxing Bros should get media passes to the George Kambosos? Well, I said the Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos fight on November 27th. Let us know in the comment section, and if we should apply for media passes. Now, turning it over to you. I'm turning it over to a man whose predictions have become famous, not because he gets them right, because often he doesn't. But usually he provides us with a tasty dish that we can look forward to during the fights. And I wonder if he has one served up for us now. We're turning it over to none other than Chef G.
All right. So, thank you, Brother Kaden. Now, what's next on the menu? Y'all ready for this? On the next new item for November, we got sweet potato salad. You know what I'm saying? and
with raisins.
Yo,
how about a plant-based burger? Plant-based.
We also got the eggplant parmesan. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, wait, go back. We start sweet potato salad.
Yup. We got that Caleb sweet potato salad. We got the eggplant parm. You know what I mean? What else do we need on that menu? This is special.
We need beyond plant-based
burgers. Plant-based meat
burgers. You know what I'm saying? Listen.
Yeah. Grill it up real nice.
Yo, listen. The whole get up. Hey, listen. If y'all are going on a diet, if y'all are going vegan, holla at your boy. We got a whole plethora of options. You know what I'm saying?
You got to tell them, G, we got plant-based burgers because it's impossible for Caleb to win.
That's a bar. Slow it down.
Slow it down.
Nah, but all right. But for all jokes aside, man, like I really do want Caleb Plant to win, but he ain't gonna win for a number of reasons.
Stand on your soapbox, G. Pick Caleb right now, G.
Nah.
Pick Caleb right now, G.
Y'all be like, yo, Caleb, he's trolling. You know what I'm saying? But I do want him to win. I do. You know what I mean? He's an American fighter. I want him to win. I really do. But nonetheless, he really don't have power, like at all. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna call him pillow fisted, but even if he punches hard, he's gonna break his hand like he's done against Truax. He broke his hand. What you think his hand's gonna be when he punches Canelo? You know what I'm saying? Like his fist gonna turn to dust. You know. Also, like he's bigger, but he's inactive. Like the dude fights like once a year. Canelo fights like 4 times a year. You know, Canelo he breeds boxing at this point. With Plant, it's like he's just too inactive for me to even think the fight's gonna be like that competitive. You know, I'll be happy if Plant can make it to, the 8th round. If he does that, man, salute, man. I'm gonna show love. You know me. G always show love to the dudes that lose, as long as you lose right. You know what I mean? So Plant just please, man, do it for us, man. Do it for the states, man. But Canelo's gonna violate you. But just make it good for yourself, so that way, even after the loss, people still want to see you in your career, So, and by the way, I just like to say this: I do like Caleb Plant's logo. I don't know, it kind of remind me of like a Subway logo or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying it's clever. You know what I mean? So, but keep doing your thing, man. Your marketing team, salute to them too.
T-shirts are going to be half off after next week, so.
Yeah, G, cop one. Now we're going to turn it over to a man whose predictions have been so accurate, He's known as Trill Nostradamus. Trill Dollar Bill. Who you got?
Saul Canelo Alvarez.
I'm surprised.
It was hard for me to come to this conclusion too. Now, sweet hands. Yeah, Canelo's gonna eat those like candy.
Sweet
He gonna
potato
eat
pie.
those like
Sweet potato pie. That's the dessert. You know what I'm saying?
I just, it's very talented. See, this is what sucks, right? Because he's a real talented boxer. He's a real talented boxer, but this is too much too soon. This is the too much too soon. This is why, I was never a fan of tournaments, but then I started liking the tournaments, like the Super Six and all that stuff like that, because it was getting fighters ready. The best were fighting the best. And it was getting these fighters prepared. Now these guys is so busy with protecting these O's. They brought up Mayweather, right? That was the one bad thing about Floyd Mayweather, right? He got everybody thinking that you needed this O. And Floyd was never that guy. He never cared about the O. This is the mindset of people. They don't understand. They got to go watch old Floyd Mayweather. Old pretty boy Floyd Mayweather. That's who they need to watch. If they want to copy somebody, people forget Floyd was a dog. They get caught up in the little hoopla, see the money, the flashing, they forget the flashing lights. They forget the grind. Caleb Plant, you needed to grind a little bit more. This is too much too soon, kind of like what we seen last night. You didn't put yourself in a position to win. Who have you fought that will put you in a position to beat somebody, a phenom, a future Hall of Famer?
Truax.
You feel me, G?
Yeah,
You feel me? You feel me? Who has he fought to put him in a position to fight, not beat, but to fight? No boxing, no life. I'm not even saying put him in a position to beat. I'm talking about put him in a position to fight. A guy like no boxing, no life. Listen, I just hope that he's trained hard so he'll be able to protect himself and he doesn't get hurt out there. My main thing, I've always said this is why I picked David Benavidez over Caleb Plant. I said his face, I don't think Caleb Plant's face would hold up.
Seen what a slap did to him.
What's the glasses, fellas? Come on.
I always felt with his face.
What's the glasses?
Even with lesser opponents, there was always a concern with me. So I'm definitely going with Canelo. You're a talented fighter, Caleb. I love your story. You are a warrior. You are a dog. A lot of people would have tried to get out of this fight when everybody else was trying to get you to go a different way and trying to make this, that, and third happen. No, you protested it. You wanted this moment. And I'm not mad at you for that because you're supposed to believe in yourself. If you don't, then you already lost. So, all the best to you, but I got Canelo.
Well, it's time for me to jump in, and I'm not going to leave you in suspense. It should shock no one that I believe Caleb Plant will be planted on the canvas ASAP. So, with that being said, there is some hope for Caleb Plant, and I believe that Complex pointed it out. Excuse me. Caleb Plant Canelo Alvarez has been in close competitive fights with like Austin Trout, Laura, where people believe he actually lost that fight. And being completely candid, I scored that fight for Laura by 1 point. However, I can understand how Laura lost the fight because I gave Laura some close rounds. But that's me giving it to Laura. I'm giving it to the champion. And Canelo started landing vicious body shots. But here's where Laura loses the fight. He did a lot of running in that fight. A lot of running and not engaging. And so there lies the point in which is it effective, or is it ring generalship, I should say? Or is it running? There's a fine line between ring generalship and running. And I saw Laura look like he was running a lot, and Canelo was landing some vicious punches to the body. So then my mindset becomes, was he running because he was hurt by the body punches? Then if you're running because you're hurt by the body punches, in my mind, every second that you're running, you should be losing because you're running away from engaging because you're hurt. Now, that was a close fight. He lost to Floyd Mayweather. Austin Trout, like I said, gave him a close fight. Triple G, the first fight was a close fight. In my opinion, Canelo won the second one without no debate. So you have Canelo, who has been in close fights, and in his close fights, they have been skilled, talented boxers. So you look at Caleb Plant and you say, well, what are his attributes? He's a talented, skillful boxer. But the difference between an Austin Trout, the difference between a Floyd Mayweather, the difference between Triple G and these guys in comparison to Caleb Plant is that when they fought the level of opposition that Plant did, they disposed of them in impressive fashion. When Caleb Plant fought Caleb Truax, it was boring. It dragged on. We kept waiting for the finish that we never got. The most impressive thing from Caleb Plant in that fight was everyone was trying to figure out what type of jab he was throwing. Oh, he's putting a spin on. What is that jab called? Oh, it's called an up jab. Oh, yeah, it's an up jab. That's the most impressive thing. Yeah, see if that up jab crap works against Canelo, bro. For real. Like that's the stuff I'm getting at. When I saw Caleb Plant in the ring against guys he should have dominated and stopped, it had to go the distance. Now you can argue, yeah, well, Floyd went the distance with champions, with top contenders, not with Caleb Truax. And so for me, there's concern as to whether or not he's going to be able to keep Canelo Alvarez off of him. And another thing you can ask yourself is Caleb Plant a better boxer than Billy Joe Saunders? Are we really sure of that? Who wins between Caleb and Billy Joe Saunders? If they fought, or could we definitively say we know who would win that fight? You saw what Canelo did to Billy Joe Saunders. Exactly. Callum Smith versus Caleb Plant. Could we definitively say we know that Caleb Plant wins that fight? You see how Callum just looked at 168, by the way. I mean, at 175, by the way. He looked pretty good. All I'm saying to you is Caleb Plant's lack of competition at the high level, plus how he's looked against mediocre competition. I can't say I believe his skill set is automatically going to translate to outclassing Canelo Alvarez in the biggest fight on the biggest stage of his life, because that's what he would have to do to win. He didn't knock out Truax. Canelo's known for having one of the best beards in the game. He stood up to Triple G. He took some of the cleanest punches I've ever seen someone take from Triple G, and he stood up and went right back at him. So I would say this. I'm not a gambling man, but if there was one sure bet that I was forced to make about November 6th, it's that Caleb Plant won't knock out Canelo Alvarez. The one sure bet that I would make. I'm not saying like the outcome, anything can happen. I'm sure that Caleb Plant doesn't knock out Canelo Alvarez. And if he does knock out Canelo Alvarez, Victor Conti, you done did it again. Victor Conti, you done did it again, my brother. Undetectable Victor. No, but on the real, right? And that's one thing I'm sure of. So for me, the only way Caleb can win is if he puts on a master class. He has to put on a master class. He has to school Canelo. And yeah, you can learn from Andre Ward. You can get lessons from Andre Ward. You can spar Andre Ward. You can watch every fight Andre Ward's ever had, including to his amateur days. But you will never be Andre Ward. You will never be Andre Ward. And if you were Andre Ward in his prime, we can talk. But even Andre Ward stopped Kovalev. Even Andre Ward stopped Chad Dawson, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Andre Ward stopped Chad. Andre Ward stopped some of the best fighters in his division, and Caleb Plant, you on the So you are not Andre Ward, my friend. And we'll find out. But the reason why I'm picking Canelo is I think, as Complex pointed out, the days where he had trouble with boxers are over. He's more talented now. He's more skilled. He's grown. You have Billy Joe Saunders, who's a talented boxer, and he had his moments against Canelo, but you saw the growth in Canelo. And I'll add, he was fighting a talented boxer like Billy Joe Saunders in a 24-by-24 ring, which is bigger than the average ring, because Billy Joe Saunders cried about it, and he still couldn't outbox Canelo in that giant ring. So the thought process of you're going to dance around Canelo should be dead, but if it isn't dead, it will be dead on November 6th. Caleb gets planted in the center of the ring, and Canelo becomes the first undisputed super middleweight champion in the four-belt era.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Let us know. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. I'm sure you are. And please check us out on Twitter and Instagram. And also check out our podcast on all major streaming services. And almost forgot, Trill Talk Volume 3 out now on all streaming services. Please go check it out. You're going to like it. I'm sure you will. It's the Boxing Bros.
You're welcome. You're all welcome.